Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Coming up here with Season 4, we are obviously going to see a significant update accompanying the actual season itself. It's going to be a download required for all players on Wednesday morning, so everyone's going to be affected by this, and with it, we are obviously going to see a ton of new patch notes, gameplay changes, meta updates, everything like that. And as it stands right now, even a couple days before the updates dropped, we already have a handful of confirmed changes and confirmed patch notes for this update, then also a good preview into some of the other significant gameplay updates coming with Season 4 as well. And so today, I wanted to give you guys a bit of a quote-unquote early look at what to expect within those Season 4 update patch notes across Warzone and multiplayer alike. So jumping right in, Sledgehammer actually very subtly revealed a change coming with Season 4 over on Reddit. There were some comments and some concerns about some of the aftermarket parts coming, specifically one to the RGL-80 that's going to extend its range and its projectile capabilities. And to this, Sledgehammer did say, have no fear, because in Season 4, there are going to be some hardcore specific balance adjustments coming for the RGL-80. This is likely just to get out ahead of that aftermarket part and make sure that when it does drop, there's not any like game-breaking things where the RGL is now just the most overpowered thing in the entire game if you're playing hardcore and multiplayer. So it will have its sort of checks and balances in place there, but that's one of the update patch notes we can now expect to see. There will be some adjustments made for the RGL in the multiplayer patch notes coming up. Now, usually when we do these major update previews, we look to the Trello boards for multiplayer zombies in Warzone to get a good bit of, previews and clarification on what patch notes we can expect within these seasonal updates. This time around, though, the Trellos really aren't all that full. There really haven't been all that many updates to these in recent weeks. However, we do still have a handful of guaranteed fixes scheduled that we should see across the board with these Season 4 patch notes on Wednesday. A couple of global updates that we'll see coming with the Beast Glove Melee Blueprint from on the Kong and Godzilla bundles. This still has not been able to function as intended. You can't fully put camos on it sometimes, so that is going to be fully fixed here with Season 4 most likely. It's been a broken thing pretty much since it was added to the game and available to unlock, so for those who spent the money to get that, you really haven't been able to use it and make it look as cool as you might have wanted it to. They also have a fix scheduled for saving a prestige camo on a custom mod. This has been a bug that's happened a lot, like when trying to save mastery camos as custom blueprints in previous seasons. Now, though, the issue has just transferred over to the one trick prestige camo, and keep in mind we're also going to have the obsidian prestige camo dropping in Season 4 as well, so that'll be fixed there. So if you do go ahead and unlock those, you can save a custom loadout with all your preferred attachments and that prestige camo on there, and it won't impact anything there. On the multiplayer side of things, recently Infected had to actually be removed from the game because it was constantly just kicking everyone out of the lobby with a disconnect or a timeout error. So that's being looked into, and that should fully be updated here with Season 4. So Infected should be back. Then on the zombies side of things, really not much going on here. The fix schedule that we have listed is actually overdue to be a fix released because the schematic cooldowns are obviously available, but there is still a major issue that they are monitoring here when it comes to your acquisition stashes sometimes being deleted whenever you are entering the menu or you're exfilling out of a game, where obviously your stuff there is super important to keep. Everything in your stash you have for a reason, and then when the game just completely just Thanos snaps it out of existence, it really sucks. So they are monitoring that, and they also say they are investigating still that sometimes player containment levels can be knocked back and knocked down certain tiers when randomly loading into zombies, or again exfilling out of a game if you're doing certain story missions and stuff like that, which again is a huge problem and really obnoxious for zombies gameplay. But those things have been on the Trello for quite some time. If you're new to the channel, it might be your first time hearing about that stuff, but if you are an active viewer on these types of videos, I'm sure you're well aware that those have been around for a little while now. So hopefully they can really get those sorted and removed off the Trello board, because that'd be the best case scenario where they just don't exist and they don't have to be monitored because they've solved that. Over on the Warzone side of things, again, not too many updates here as of late. They do have one fix scheduled though, where on the Gunsmith UI, the sniper rifle values pertaining to velocity are not correct when you're looking at them in multiplayer versus Warzone there. So there's just a disconnect happening there that could lead to some confusion. All I'll say is it's best to always be in the correct game mode when you're trying to look at weapon stats. Don't be in the multiplayer menu looking at what you'd use for a Warzone loadout, because the stats will be different there because of how multiplayer gameplay is impacted differently by certain things. Also, they are investigating a lighting issue going on here where, like, especially on Rebirth, for instance, if you get the sunset lighting in Skybox, a lot of the in-game stuff starts to glitch out with textures, and certain things just like glow a weird color in like inside of buildings and stuff. It's a really funky bug. It was happening on Urzikstan for a while back in like season 2 and part of season 3. Now it's just transferred over to Rebirth instead, so they are looking into that as well. So like I said, overall the Trellos don't really have that much meat on the bone this time, but we do have a lot of other significant updates that have been confirmed elsewhere. So as we do dive into some of these other gameplay updates, other major changes coming with season 4, quick reminder, if you are new to the channel or maybe you have not subscribed yet, let's change that, because this is your one-stop shop for all things going on in COD on a daily basis. So feel free to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and drop a like on it. As always, much love to everyone who takes the time to do so. One update in particular I'm super interested in is a new limited update coming to Urzikstan, specifically with season 4, and this is the introduction of tac sprint boots. And these are boots that are going to give you unlimited tac sprint, so you never have to stop tac sprinting around Urzikstan. Now they say these are only going to be accessible in bunkers, so you're going to have to find the key cards for those and actually infiltrate those bunkers to find these. It's going to be a super rare thing to find in game, or a super limited thing to find in game, but I'm also very confident in the fact that they're starting this as like a trial thing. They want it to be somewhat limited, so not everyone is getting this at once in case it's like a super game breaking thing or it is a little bit overpowered. They're going to test it out now with it being limited, only available in bunkers, only on Urzikstan, and then if it goes over well, players really enjoy this, I fully expect them to expand this out to maybe everyone on Urzikstan gets unlimited tac sprint boots just by default, or they even bring it over to Resurgence style gameplay and just Warzone in general as a new quality of life update. That could be really cool there, but like I said, I am really looking forward to trying out the unlimited tac sprint boots. We also have a brand new feature coming with season 4 known as Warzone specific rewards, and with this essentially it's just extra rewards, extra content you can earn specifically through the Warzone challenges menu. So with this, there's going to be new rewards for spending and looting at buy stations, new rewards for completing a certain number of contracts and different types of contracts, new social rewards for interacting with enemy players or aiding your team, new mode specific rewards for battle royale, plunder, resurgence, etc. Then also new Champions Quest rewards as well. So just adding some more depth to Warzone across the board. I think that's awesome. Just gives you a little bit more to do in general. We're also going to see a major weapons update that's not specifically directing your custom guns, but rather the weapon loot with redacted weapons coming in season. And these are actually weapons that have 10 attachments available on them. So you may recall back in Warzone 1 during Vanguard, all of those guns by default had 10 attachment slots. And now since then, we've obviously gone back to 5, which I think is much more balanced. But 10 attachment guns are coming as a form of loot within a gameplay, which is going to be pretty crazy if you can find those, and the builds are actually decent. I know some of like the 8 attachment guns you can get from the bioscans aren't super practical sometimes, so we'll have to see what the builds are like, but that could be pretty game changing if you're able to find one of those in a match. Another major thing happening with season 4 is actually the complete removal of Ashika Island from Warzone in Modern Warfare 3. Now, this should not impact anything with DMZ if you're playing that back on MW2, but Ashika Island is being removed from the Warzone Resurgence map pool. Raven did say Ashika Island, crafted by our partners at High Moon in February of 2023, is going to see its last week in MW3, and that's what's going on right now. The week of May 23rd gives players one last chance to enjoy Ashika Island before it gracefully exits the rotation. So jumping into season 4, Ashika Island will never be available again. Kind of a drastic thing there. I said this before, but I feel like if they would have just updated the skybox and made it sunny, that would have probably made the map a lot more enjoyable to play. I just don't think players really enjoyed a gray, gloomy, sort of overcast map because it kind of ruins the vibes in general, which shouldn't really have an impact on gameplay, but for whatever reason, players just weren't really a huge fan of that. But yeah, Ashika is getting completely kicked out of Warzone with Season 4. Now, Season 4 is also introducing some new mastery challenges to the game in the form of new weekly challenges for another seasonal mastery camo. This time around, it's like a DNA bomb looking camo, and obviously every single week we're going to have set challenges for multiplayer zombies in Warzone, just like with the past couple of seasons. So we constantly have something to do week to week. If you're looking to unlock the mastery camo at the end of the season, it'll finally be available in like week 8, for instance. But then also week to week, that's how we'll see all the aftermarket parts become available too. So always important to go through and pay attention to those challenges. And if you want these super rare mastery camos that are only available during any given season, that's obviously important to go through and grind when it happens every Wednesday as well. And then lastly here, for just the general stuff, we do have a new level cap happening with Season 4. We're going to go from 650 all the way up to 850. And with this, basically every 50 levels, you are going to get some new content unlocked, whether it be in the form of a calling card or ultimately a new blueprint as well. It'll be for the SOA Subverter when you end up reaching the level cap for Season 4 at 850. And then to round things out entirely, we do have a multiplayer specific update to gameplay that I am very much so excited for as well. And these are new gameplay modifiers. So they say here, look for playlist updates that indicate the presence of certain gameplay modifiers like the minefield mode in Season 3. Here's some of the modifiers that we're going to see throughout Season 4. Looping kill streaks. So streaks reset fully once you reach the upper end of your current streak. So if you're running a UAV, a counter, and like, an advanced UAV, for instance, after you get the advanced UAV and you're still on your streak, you could then cycle that and go for another UAV, another counter. I love that. You can also earn kill streaks with your streaks. So you receive points added to your streak if you slay an enemy player with your kill streak or assist in killing a player with your kill streak. So if you're using a lethal streak of any kind and you get a kill with it, that then tracks up towards your next streak. There's also going to be a kill streak cache. When a player is eliminated, they drop a cache containing a percentage of their earned kill streak progress. So you can basically boost your kill streak by picking that up, which is really interesting. And then also critical countdown event items. There's going to be a critical countdown event, and there will be dropped redacted in-game items for that as well. So some really fun modifiers there for multiplayer specifically. But all that being said, that is effectively going to wrap things up for this one. Those are all of the early updates and early patch notes that we've got confirmed so far for Season 4. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out so you can guarantee you are always up to date with everything going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.